Hi, I'm Annie Bafna, and I'm the founder of The Nutcracker. We are currently at 6 locations all over Bombay, and thank you so much for being here with us today. So I started Nutcracker has been here for about 12 years now. I was in my early 30s when I founded the concept. By profession or by education, I wasn't from the hospitality industry. I did my finance, my CA, worked in that space for many years. But having a restaurant was always something ever since I was little. It was something that was on my mind, something that excited me, but it always just felt like it was a dream and not something I would actually do, as a career. But when I had reached my early 30s, there was this urge to really jump industries, give it a shot. And that's when really the idea began to make it concrete, to start working on the concept of having a restaurant. And that's where my journey began. While we were kind of still putting together the whole concept of the cafe and the menu and all of that, of course, having a name was something that we had to think about. I was very clear that it had to be something which was quirky and fun and offbeat, not something that was just, another regular name or not using my name in it in any way. So I had a dear friend and we used to sort of brainstorm on names on a daily basis. And one day we were at her home and her in-laws sort of are antique collectors and they had removed this set of ancient Indian nutcrackers to show to a museum, to give to a museum for like an exhibit. And we were looking at them and she just said Nutcracker. And the name just rung fun. It was something that you wouldn't expect as the name of a restaurant. And it was just, in a moment like that I decided, let's go with it. So for me personally, the biggest challenge was that I wasn't from the industry. So everything was new. I didn't come with a mindset of what was required to start a restaurant. I didn't come with work experience. I think that at a personal level, that was the largest challenge, right? Because I had to learn from scratch. I had to sort of be everywhere at all times to understand different aspects of learning a restaurant. I had to also spend a good amount of time before we started, understanding about the industry. So it was a mix of everything from reading books, visiting restaurants, trying to reach out to people from the industry that could give me insights. And, putting together a restaurant is a combination of so many things, right? Because it's not just about having an idea and then having a space that serves food. There had to be a philosophy, there had to be a story, I had to bring to the table, my personality, what it reflected of me as a person, because really it was a passion-driven project. So putting together everything from, the brand, what it stood for, how it reflected in the space, in the menu, what I wanted people to feel when they walked into the Nutcracker. It was really putting together everything. And I think that is something that was more than a challenge. It was something that took time. And of course, understanding all the complexities that go into a restaurant, right? From the licensing to the fact that you're in a public space and there are so many rules and regulations you have to comply with, how you sort of design your kitchen, what your operations should look like. So everything was new for me. So in some way, it was all challenging, but it was a fun learning experience. One of the advantages I think we definitely have is that we were probably very early on in the game for a breakfast all day concept and being an eggs only cafe. At the time we started Nutcracker, the cafe culture, first of all, in the city was much smaller than what it is now. Secondly, the concept of breakfast all day didn't exist. Restaurants would have maybe limited breakfast menus, and then maybe by 11 they would stop serving those and it would move to your regular cafe food. We have a large part of our menu dedicated to breakfast. Also the fact that we were vegetarian. So we were somewhere in the middle of that space of being vegetarian and non-vegetarian, which was also a new concept. Being vegetarian also allowed us to bring in a lot of fun, innovative concepts to our breakfast menu. So I think for all these reasons, what we did and what we came up with in the city was, new. And I think that legacy has carried with us. So while our menu today and people will come to us at lunch, evening, breakfast, dinner, drinks, all of that. But the concept that we started then of breakfast all day, I think has sort of carried us forward and given us a uniqueness in the space that, the legacy still carries on. When we started the menu, I was very clear that what we wanted to serve up was food that people just ate and felt the warmth and the comfort of it. And that came from two things. That came from trying to keep ingredients very fresh, very in-house. I strongly believe in not using things which are packaged and full of preservatives and chemicals and all of that. So we try and do everything possible that we can in-house. And the second part was not confusing people with food, but at the same time bringing dishes to the menu that are unusual, that are new, something they may not have tried before. The menu at the start was really a combination of three things. Things that I grew up eating, like I said, that, things that sort of I drew from my culture. Things that, as in my journey, as I grew into an adult, that I tasted, that excited me, flavors, ingredients that I explored during my travels in and around India, outside India, and that I personally loved eating myself and I wanted to bring to the menu. And then third, things that I just loved cooking or, that I enjoy sort of having with friends. So it was a combination of all of these and always keeping freshness, comfort, and, mainly vegetarian and egg-based meals to the menu. So the menu was an amalgamation of all of this. Today, 12 years down the line, 11 years down the line, we still have those Nutcracker classics and favorites that people come to us for. But the menu has also evolved over time, which I feel is necessary, right? For us to sort of stay relevant, stay consistent with what people are asking for. So we introduced, when people are now looking for vegan options or gluten-free options, healthier options. So we've always tried to integrate these, but we've also always been very conscious to not just jump onto every trend. When we feel something is more relevant, it's here to stay, it can integrate into our philosophy and what our food is, we kind of bring it into our menus. The other thing that we do regularly is we bring out seasonal menus. So about 4 or 5 menus around the year, each of them that last maybe a couple of months, are driven by seasonality. So monsoon and winter and summer and, Christmas, festive. And this allows us to bring in flavors that are specific to that time. It allows us to play with seasonal produce, which is something I personally love doing. So especially at time like winter, you'll have beautiful winter vegetables like your green jowar, fresh grains, your green garlic, root vegetables, and things which taste best at that time of the year. So we create our menus around that. What has also happened over the years is that something on a seasonal menu was so loved by a customer that, they insist that we keep it on our menu if we can. And produce being available, we've done that. So our menu has grown over the years from something which was much leaner to something which gives much more options. And we see that there are two kinds of customers. There's the customer that will come in and has been coming in for years. They don't really want to experiment. They know exactly what they want. They won't even look at the menu. They'll say, I'll have my Turkish eggs, I'll have my pancakes, I'll have my bagel. And then there are customers that come in that are always saying, so what's new? So our seasonal menu allows us to cater to both, to bring seasonality, something that's fresh, new, fun. It's also a way for us to test something when we're not sure, should we put this on our main menu or not? It allows us to experiment, let it run for those couple of months, see what customers are saying, if they like it. And then, it goes on to our main menu. So that's really how we've designed it, always keeping it ingredient and flavor forward versus linked to any specific cuisine. Well, I think there are a bunch of them that have stayed with us over the years, but if I have to put down one or two, I think our buttermilk pancakes have been consistently the top selling and the most loved, dish on our menu. It's something that, while pancakes are such breakfast items, but they're something that sell through the day. And across all our 6 restaurants, they end up being the top selling item for the day across the board. It's something we've always been linked to over the years. Besides that, I think a couple of our egg dishes like our akuri. So I am a Parsi and parts of our menu are extensions of really things that I grew up, eating. And the akuri, which is one of our breakfast dishes, is another very popular nutcracker dish. And then we have a dessert which is called the 7-layer cookie, which once again is one of our top sellers. Over years, we've introduced new desserts, but that has been once again something that customers are very attached to and still come back to eat and try. Sometimes you just have people come in just for the cookie at the end of the day as a dessert. So I think these three, a large part of our egg menu with dishes like akuri or salli eggs or Turkish eggs, the pancakes and the 7-layer cookie, I would have to say these are probably some of our most iconic dishes. Maybe it's a very simple and basic answer to give, but for me, what is most important is kindness and care as an attitude. I've realized over time and looking at all the people that we have on our team, the people that ended up being strong team members essentially have this core character, which is just caring and kindness. And I think that extends in so many ways, because in hospitality, there's a lot that you can teach by way of technical training, but attitude and something which is so core to a person is sometimes hard to train someone on, right? And when you have someone who has that as a strength, a character strength, it'll extend and it'll reflect in so many ways, because they will just treat your guests in the way that you want them to. They will always show kindness and care, whether it's towards a guest, whether it's towards a team member. They end up being better team players. We've always followed a very people-forward, people-first philosophy at Nutcracker. And for us, it's important how we work with people across all levels. So it could be a supplier, it could be the delivery Swiggy Zomato guy that comes to your door, it could be a team member, it could be your guests. And I think that when attitude is in place, and when you have inherently someone who is just a kind person, a person that cares for other people around them, that has a high EQ, I think they will just automatically succeed in their jobs here better than anybody else. It's something that is really hard to identify when you're interviewing someone. Honestly, it's impossible almost. But it's that X factor that we look for. We try to recruit based on that as much as we can by way of intuition. But it's also what we encourage, and what we see as a success story for many people that have been with us for long has been that. I think that guests underestimate the complexity that goes behind every dish that comes to a table, right? So let's say you go to a restaurant and you eat something, and there's a day that it's been great, and maybe there's a day that something has been a little off. There are so many processes, people, steps, controls, operations that go behind that one dish. It's almost like this whole orchestra playing, and that orchestra has to play in sync, in pure flow for that dish to come to you perfectly, right? So starting from when we buy our ingredients, if the guy at the store didn't check the brand and he suddenly got a substitute brand, or it was the correct brand, he didn't store something properly, or when it was transported to the kitchen, there was some mess up and it didn't come correctly, or the person in the kitchen didn't check that ingredient, didn't realize there was a mistake and he continued using it, or the recipe was not followed correctly, or the equipment that he cooked it on was not functioning to 100%, and so there was, some difference in the quality of what came out. Or, there was a new person that was not trained properly. Or, there are so many ors and so many steps where something as simple as even a plate of French fries that comes to your table has so many linked processes and checks. And I think that is something that a customer can never see. A customer will say, I like it or I don't like it. Something went well or something didn't go well. But there's a hugely complex operational background behind everything that's coming to a table. And I think that is really the biggest difference from the way we're looking at it from the inside and how a customer is perceiving it from the outside. So we've been really, I feel deeply grateful and very fortunate to have people that have been, when we started, we were at Kalagoda and it was a small 24 cover cafe. And we've had people that have been coming to us consistently for all this time, over this period of 10, 11, 12 years. And they are people that really share in your growth. They rejoice with you. They are the first ones that are your mirrors. When something goes wrong, they will immediately give you, the feedback. We've had cases of kids like mothers that have come when they are pregnant with kids, and then they've come in with their strollers, with that being the first outing for the child. The child has grown up eating eating nutcracker food from the time they could start eating. They are now 10, 11 years old, and they still come to us for like breakfast, their pancakes. So that feels really heartwarming. We've also had many cases. So Nutcracker has this table called table number 7, and it seems to be this lucky table because over time there have been so many stories where people come to us saying, we had our first date here, our whole courtship period was here, and now, we're getting married. One of the most special stories is this couple that, once again, same story. They had their first date at Nutcracker Bandra, which is where we're sitting. And, their love grew from there. And then the day the boy decided to propose to the girl, he said, can you please allow me to do it over here? So it was something which is not the norm, but we cleared out the restaurant for him one evening, and he set up the whole place and decorated it. It was a surprise for the girl. And he actually sort of proposed marriage to the girl in our space. So it's very special moments like these because it reinstates what I've always believed in, that we're not here to serve food. We're here to serve memories and an experience and create, these connections with our customers. And these are just some of the really special memories that come to mind immediately. The soul of Nutcracker, I would say, is kindness and care. The kindness that we extend to our guests, and the huge amount of care that we take as a team to bring food that is warm and comforting. So today, clearly while breakfast stays one of the meals that we're most known for and people come to us for, but once again, it's a cafe all day concept where, our menu has things that you can enjoy for lunch, for dinner, through the day. While Nutcracker has sort of moved, in that way, also a couple of years ago, we started a sub-brand under the umbrella of Nutcracker called Noah. Noah was created more as the concept is more compact, small, easygoing. Really, it was created to meet convenience and speed in a better way, right? We understood that now, we have different kinds of customer sort of profiles. Gen Z customer is much more of a strong voice in what is being asked for, or people that, are young working professionals, people that don't necessarily have the time to sit and enjoy the luxury of a long lunch or breakfast or dinner, but they don't want something which is very QSR, grab and go. You still want the promise of freshness, of high quality ingredients. But I wanted matched with convenience. And that was the space that we, wanted to create for as Noah. So Noah is essentially a sandwich, coffee and deli. They're compact. You can sit there, you can quickly have a sandwich, coffee, matcha. You can, grab something for home. You can get your daily breads, spreads, so you're home, you suddenly have visitors coming in. You just sort of pick up a Swiggy, Zomato sort of thing, and you have a bunch of offerings that you can have. So it really is meeting a convenience factor. It's easy as a grab and go. It's easy to have on the go. It's easy to have quickly, pass by a Noah, pick up a sandwich, do a quick 15-minute eat and go. But you know that what you're eating is still artisanal in a way. It's still being well thought of. It's curated with high quality ingredients, freshness and comfort. And that really is the space that we created for Noah. So currently we have both. We have 3 Noahs and we have 6 Nutcrackers. While we look at growing both, we are first looking at Bombay as a city. We feel the advantage we have of being in a city like Bombay is that it has so many different markets in itself, right? And while we're at 6 locations, we know that there are possibly easily 2 or 3 more spaces in Bombay that we can be. I think easily another 5 or 7 places that Noah can be. After that, we have looked at moving to other metros, like maybe a Bangalore or a Pune or a Delhi. So over the next 5 years, I think that's the space that we want to look at. Thank you, Indian Hospitality Magazine, for this opportunity and this interview. It's been great having this talk. And my closing message for anybody that's looking at joining the industry would be to come in with a full soul and full heart, because I think hospitality is at the core, about that. And you have to be ready to really be all in and come in with a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. But once you make that choice and you're here, in spite of everything that it takes, it is always so heartwarming and it is so much fun to be part of this. So good luck to you.